Good day, everyone. Welcome to Transformation Tuesday. Good to be with you once again. I'm Liz Forrest, Master Shamanic Teacher. So happy to have you here in Transformation Tuesday. Please say hello in the comments if you're joining me live or on the replay. Okay, so are you feeling more judgmental these days than usual? More judgmental than usual. It is so difficult with the challenges we're facing in this massive transitionary time of all the old paradigms of separation and destruction becoming more and more evident in their desperation to hold the power to not be judgmental. Isn't it? Yeah, it can be, for certain. And as we're all being propelled to do our best to be part of the solution in our evolutionary time, which I believe this certainly is, and to be active in all the ways we can, serving each other and our communities and our amazing, impeccable environment, and all that we're being asked to do as conscious people. And some days it's really difficult to not be overwhelmed and use our judgments as a way of release. Have you ever experienced that? Yeah, I would love to hear from you if you are feeling a little more judgmental these days, or maybe a lot more judgmental, in the comments if you'd like to share. I know that's been true for me. Yeah, I have to be aware and watch myself to not get into judgmental mode. And I'm going to tell you why that's not helpful. In these teachings of the Toltec that I've been studying for all these 30 years and teaching for almost as many, we learn that judging comes from a couple of places within us when we get into judging. One is that we assume everybody thinks and feels the same as we do, based on our own belief system, of which we all have one, right? So we can move into judging when we assume that everybody thinks and feels and believes the same things we do. Unrealistic. And when they don't fit into our belief system, we blame them or we punish them in some way for not doing so with their words or their actions. Yeah, that's one place. And the other place judgment arises in us is when we are triggered by an old, unhealed wound in ourselves, and we react with judgment. Someone says something to us and we react. We get defensive, maybe we get angry because there's an old hurt in you that has been activated. Have you ever experienced that? Yeah, we become defensive. Somebody says something to us, we get defensive. Yeah, that's indicating there's something in us that is still alive in a wounded place, a sensitive place. So again, reacting with judgment against injustices or against a person who has said something to you that's touched an unhealed place in you might feel good in the moment to react, to get judgmental. Yeah, might feel good in the moment. Have you ever experienced that? Yeah, it's kind of like a release, right? Okay, but in the energy practices and the study of shamanism, what I've learned and what I teach in my classes is that all that reactive energy that the judge carries out and that you direct towards others runs through you first. It runs through us first, elevates our nervous system in all kinds of ways, and then depletes our precious energy by directing it at your target, whomever that might be, whatever that might be. So yeah, It elevates all of our nervous system, our heart rate, maybe our blood pressure. Sometimes we could feel a little dizzy, lightheaded, ungrounded, all the things when we allow that energy to run up through us and then we direct it at our target. It affects us first before it arrives where you're directing it. Haven't you ever experienced that feeling of exhaustion after going into a big reaction, a big emotional reaction, or even a rage in a situation? Feel depleted. Some say that that kind of experience is more exhausting than a physical experience. Yeah, of getting physical, running a race, doing some physical activity, that our emotions can exhaust us even more. So in my recent classes, we've been discussing the difference between judgment and the practice of discernment, which is an extremely helpful practice to master with a lot of practice, especially in uncertain times like the ones we're in right now. So what is discernment? Discernment is a much broader perception than judgment, first of all. Much broader. Judgment's really narrow. Yeah. In the Toltec tradition, discernment is the neutral observation of truth, while judgment is driven by our emotions and our domestication, our belief systems, our agreements. That's where our judgment comes from. Okay, so discernment is a neutral observation of the truth, and judgment is driven by emotions and domestication, programming. Discernment sees what is, sees the truth. When we're in discernment, we are observing what the truth is, as painful as that can be. There's a lot of that presently, isn't there? Judgment projects blame and depletes our energy. And here's the thing, it depletes our energy, judgment, energy that we need to protect. We need to protect our energy in these times of chaos, to be directed in the path of active consciousness and stewardship, to get us out of this cycle of fear and disconnection that we are sometimes living in with what we are observing and experiencing. Yeah, we need our energy to get us out of this cycle and toward the new way of being that I believe is being birthed right now and that we're in. Yeah. I encourage you to take a pause when you're feeling your judge arising in you, to take a step back. Decide if this situation is worth your energy. If there's an action that would not feed this narrowness of judgment that you can take instead. Yeah, take a pause. Instead of feeding this energy of judgment, even though it may feel like a release in the moment, I'm going to tell you it's not really. There's other ways to take care of yourself and have that kind of release, with support, with community, with allowing your emotions to arise and expressing them. Yeah, in a safe environment, by spending time in nature, working with being grounded and connected to nature, because we certainly are. She is our salvation in so many ways. Yeah. So I would love to hear, is there an action that would not feed this energy of judgment and instead go towards path of consciousness and be one of the many supports in this new time that we are in, as difficult as it all is? Would love to hear your experiences. If you'd like to share in the comments, that would be so great. We learn from each other. And if you would like to know more about these teachings that I have been passing on for all these years, you can put interested in the comments and I'll contact you and offer you a complimentary session for more information. I have a new course coming up in the end of the summer. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I send you all my love. I will see you next week right here in Transformation Tuesday. And take a pause when you feel like you want to get judgmental. See where else you can direct your precious energy instead with the practice of discernment. Thank you. See you soon.